Okay.
And it's fun to fish through the ideas sometimes and pick out ones that
we have breaking news.
And bring them back and maybe modify them.
Yeah, George Lucas is creating the deleted scenes from Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace.
And keeping all the relevant material and getting rid of all the material that doesn't work for one reason or another.
It's like molding a piece of clay. When somebody's thrown you some clay, there's a parameter of the clay, but you need to start manipulating it to turn it into something.
Very often there are scenes that were unimportant in the script but kind of came out great, have a lot of life to them, that then would be an important part of the film, and then very important parts of the script that seem to fall flat or not work.
Long before previews, you know certain scenes should come out. They may repeat a point, they may not be performed as well, they may not add to the rhythms of the piece. And ultimately, I think film editing is about finding the rhythms of the story.
It looks like the featurettes
in fact shot
and interviews.
Proceed based on what you really have and where the life is and where the interest is, rather than.
Let's do a no copyright for special features from Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace Disc 2.
Critique your film and you realize perhaps that you just can't put everything
Yeah,
in
DVD menu flicks and full special features channel is really hard.
When we did The Unbearable Lightness of Being, we had
to recording the Disc 2 from Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace. Still copyrighted.
13 minutes that Walter Murch and I,
but there is no copyright
Walter had done a marvelous
for
job of it. It worked great
special
himself.
features.
I mean, that was
It's
the
called
centerpiece of the movie,
uncopyright news.
essentially. But when we began to calibrate
says
it with the
no
rhythms
copyright
of the
message,
movie, it sort of
no
overwhelmed
piracy,
things,
and
I
no
was
copyright
cut out
claim.
almost half of
No
that
copyright
scene. It would have been
content.
more painful to do because it all worked so well.
Once you get the film cut into one piece and you look at it, inevitably there are things that the director falls in
looks
love
like
with
intro.
that really, in the long run, don't have much to do with the story.
At a certain point in the evolution of the film, you have to stand back and say, what is there in this film that I like just because I'm me, that I have a personal attachment to, and what are the things in the film that are really essential for the film to tell its story?
Is it relevant to the story, or is it taking us off on a sidetrack that I may like very much, but which the audience probably wouldn't be interested in?
I had an interesting experience on Fred Zinnemann's.
That's great experience for a
completed
documentary.
the film. It had gone through all of the polishing and the editing on, but now we were ready to take it out and show it to an audience in a preview. Something happened in the preview, which was the audience was confused
I'll go over the
in
camera
the first
and
10
do scary
minutes
stuff.
because the structure of the screenplay was a flashback within a flashback within a flashback within a flashback.
Yeah, the flashbacks really gonna fade in the scene.
Conclusion that the third scene in this sequence probably we should try it out. However, as I was undoing the splice, taking this scene out of the film, Fred was sitting.
I'll be right here due to copyright for special
and said,
features.
"You know, when
There's
I
are
read
no
this
copyright
script
for
the
News
first
Network.
time, and I came to this scene, I knew that I could make this film." I stopped and I thought, oh no, are we now going to be ripping the heart out of this film? Something in a mysterious way that connected the director with the material. And I looked at him as if to say, well, I think we should do it. And he said, yeah, go ahead, do it. Now you come to the point of pulling this scene out. And even though you have decided to do it, there are many mixed emotions about it.
After the film's out and it's settled in and it's been a year or two.
During the
since it was
6 minutes
released,
remaining
sometimes
for
ideas keep coming back.
News
and you
Network
say,
to
well,
stop.
What would the film really be like if we put some of those scenes in it now?
In the case of Phantom Menace, we knew there were some very good ideas that never really made it into the movie. But we finished episode 1 about 3 weeks before
and I'm
the film
gonna
was
upload
released.
for DVD
And
menu
we had
walkthrough
about
with
a
the
week
Easter
to
eggs.
enjoy the whole after release and the craziness of the picture opening. But immediately afterwards, we actually started working on episode 2. We just didn't have the time to actually sit back and think of what we were going to do with the DVD. It was always George's intention to do something different. But I'll never forget, he called me up and he said, what if we actually completed all the sequences that we had to cut out of the movie? And it was such a bold and outrageous and wacky idea. But it wasn't just like simply hitting a button and making it happen. We had to, set up a crew, finish all the conceptual artwork, finish the animatics of the things that we
these
had
are
stopped
finished
and
the animatics.
And that was
Well,
like
Star Wars
making a movie.
prequel trilogy bonus features has the animatics on it.
By the very nature of the film, we have to sort of assemble the shots.
Yeah, animatics is
before we come
really
together.
computer
Once we've
animated.
cut them together, and we've done some little videomatics. We try to get a sense of whether the film is working or not, with very little of the film there. But inevitably, in a film like
They're
that,
fighting the
we're
droids
faced
from
with
the Phantom Menace from the
issue.
Naboo.
The film can't be too long.
One of the concerns you have in releasing a feature film is the running time. And George Lucas has always preferred to have a film that was about 2 hours in length.
You have to look at the film as a whole when you've cut it all together and see where it's slow, where it's not playing well.
Any shot, any sequence that gets in the way of the story has to be
Deleted
cut out.
scenes has the
Actually, I've never seen
sequences.
anybody who's more ruthless with his own work than George.
Because of the success of the movie and because it's a DVD, we were able to finish off these scenes and see what they would have looked like had I left them in the movie.
It's nice to see the pre-pod race. There was a lot of anticipation, introducing all the drivers, the revving up of the engines, the milling of the crowds, the smell of the gas.
The pod race grid sequence in the original cut did go on quite
These
a
are
while
original
because
cut.
there's a lot of things in there that
But
I
these
liked.
are
Ben, who was cutting it,
the timeline. This is Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. These are a movie, and this movie is 1999. This VHS and video is 2000, and this DVD is 2001.
into balance with the rest of the race. Sometimes we have to bite the bullet and say, even though we love this, it's really not appropriate to put it in the movie. And this way we're able to have our cake and eat it too.
Alright. First one is complete pod race grid sequence. Included the extended cut.
That's absolutely right. And a big turnout here. Corners of the outer rim territories.
Yeah.
I see the contestants are making their way out onto the starting grid.
We're getting ready for a racing at Tatooine. It's called Pod Race. During the extended cut, there are new characters from the Pod Race from Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. First one is the Boba. Yeah. Second, Marion Hot. Third one is Yankee 9 Wasp. Okay. Fourth. There's more. Fifth one. Sixth one is Marduap. Yeah, looks like a goose and bird. Seven one. Patch Terrell.
His whole family's here today to cheer him on.
Yep.
We understand Mrs. Terrell just got out of the hospital, so we wish her and her family the best of luck today. He's not good looking.
The 7 and 8 one are nine. And 10th one is young Anakin Skywalker. Yeah. The 10th characters. But in the theatrical version, there is no other characters. My favorite part is EOP farts. These are extended in theatrical. There's gift scenes. Okay. Let's see you in the other part.